Hi everyone. Now we have seen the mechanism of transport across the cell membrane. Cell membrane, these are the outermost layer of the all body cells. Now we have discussed the transport. Transport, these are the process in which the movement of matter from one part of the system to the another part. In this cell membrane transport, there is a system nothing but the cell membrane. If a substance can cross the membrane said to be permeable to that of particular substance. If doesn't cross, that time the membrane is impermeable to it. Now, across the cell membrane without any assistance, substance can pass through it if they are lipid soluble and if they are small particle in size. Now we have seen the mechanisms of transport. These are the three main mechanisms of transport. First one passive transport, second is the active transport, and third one is the bulk transport. Passive transport get two types. First one is the osmosis and second one is the diffusion. Diffusion also having two types. First one simple diffusion and another one is a facilitated diffusion. Active transport is also having two types. First one is the primary active transport and second is the secondary active transport. This secondary active transport also having two types. First one is the core transport and second one is the counter transport. And last one is the bulk transport is having two types. First one is the filtration and second one is the vesicular. Vesicular are also having two types. First one exocytosis and second one is the endocytosis. This endocytosis also having two types, which is the phagocytosis, nothing but the cell eating, and second is the pinocytosis. These are also called as cell drinking. Now, firstly, we have seen the passive transport. Passive transport is made of moving biochemicals and other atomic molecules or other substance across the membrane without the energy molecules, which is a ATP, is also called as a adenine triphosphate. This passive transport it depends on the permeability of cell membrane, which in turn it depends on the organization and characteristics of the membrane, lipid and proteins. There are three kinds of passive transport, which is a simple diffusion, another is a facilitated diffusion, and last one is a osmosis. We have seen the diffusion. These are the movement of material from the area of higher concentration to the area of lower concentration of the substance. In this figure, we have seen that in case of extracellular fluid, here is a higher concentration of substance, and here is a in case of intracellular fluid, here is a lower concentration of that particular substance. That's why here is a movement of substance from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. That is also called as concentration gradient. Now, from the diffusion, here is a simple diffusion. It means that the kinetic movement of molecules or ions occur through a membrane opening or through intermolecular spaces without any interaction with the carrier protein in the membrane. These are the carrier protein are present inside the cell membrane. Now, simple diffusion of lipid soluble substance can take place through the lipid bilayer. It's a it is a rate dependent on how highly lipid soluble of substance. In third point, water and lipid insoluble substances get simply diffused through the protein channels. The number and size of openings available it determines its diffusion rate. Now there are two important characteristics which is involved in a protein channel for simple diffusion. From that first one is they are often selectively permeable to that particular substances, and second one is many of the channels can open or close by the gates. Here is these are the lipid bilayer, which is a polar head and non-polar tail. And in this side, here is a extracellular fluid which having the higher concentration of solutes. and in intracellular fluid here is a lowest concentration of solute. And here is a whenever diffusion is occurs of these substances from higher concentration to the lower concentration, that is called as simple diffusion. And now we have seen the facilitated diffusion. It is also called carrier mediated diffusion because the substance transported in this manner diffuse through the membrane using the specific carrier. To the help, this carrier get help to the diffusion of the particular molecules. The carrier protein has a pore large enough to transport a specific molecules pathway through it. It also have binding receptor on the inside of carrier, which is used for the molecules bind to itself, causing the conformational or chemical changes in the carrier protein so that the pore now opens upon the opposite side. The molecule is released because the binding force is weak and the thermal motion of attached molecules causes the breakdown of that bonds. Carrier-mediated transport system display the three specific characteristics which get determine the kind and amount of substance that will be transferred through the membrane. First one is the specificity, the specificity of channels to that of particular substance. Now second one is the saturation of substance surrounding the channel or carrier. And third one is the competition. Here is a competition of substance to each other for the binding to that of particular channel. Now, factor influence the rate of net diffusion of substance across the membrane. They are stated by the Fick's law of diffusion. This Fick's law of diffusion called the net diffusion rate of gas across the fluid membrane is directly proportional to the difference in concentration to the surface area of membrane and the permeability of membrane to that of particular substance, and it get inversely proportional to the thickness of membrane and molecular weight of the substance. Here is the Fick's law of diffusion we have seen by the table form. In this said that the increase in the concentration gradient of substance and increasing the permeability of membrane to that of substance, and third is the higher surface area of the membrane, it get directly proportional to the rate of diffusion of that particular substance. And in another way, here is a higher molecular weight of the substance and higher thickness of membrane, it get inversely proportional to the net rate of diffusion of that particular substance. Now, osmosis. It is a diffusion of solvent across the membrane to the region of higher solute concentration. In the biomolecule process, there is usually diffusion of water molecules. It is a physical process in which a solvent moves without the input of energy across a semi-permeable membrane, separating the two solutions of different concentration of that solutes. The osmotic pressure is defined at the which is a pressure required to maintain equilibrium with the no net movement of solvent. It is the exact amount of pressure required to stop the osmosis. Now, in this figure, we have seen that the tonicity of solution and the concentration of the solutes. In the isotonic solution, there is a when blood cells we have the dip in the solutions. At that time, there is a movement of solvent through the both solution, which is present inside the cells and outside the cells, that get same concentration, nothing but the isotonic. In case of hypertonic solution, here is the lowest concentration of solutes inside the cells. That's why this solvent get moves outside the cells and come inside the hypertonic solutions. And in other hand, in case of hypotonic solution, get solvent get come inside the cells. That why cells get swelling of the cells get occur. Now we have seen the active transport. Now active transport. In this transport processes, here is a required some type of energy molecules, nothing but the ATP. Here having two types. First one is the primary active transport, in which the energy is directly derived from the breakdown of ATP to move a substance uphill. Here is a, in this case, here is a sodium and potassium pump. Here is a higher concentration of sodium and here is a lower concentration of sodium. And this movement of sodium from the lower concentration to the higher concentration, and here is a for this process requirement of ATP. Second one is the secondary active transport. These are the second type of active transport, in which the energy is derived secondarily from energy that has been stored in the form of ionic concentration differences of secondary molecular or ionic substances between the two sides of cell membrane. It created the originally by primary active transport. In this mode of transport, the transport of two or molecules are coupled, either the substance moving together in the same direction through the common carrier, that is called as co-transport, and the other hand the substance moving the opposite direction using the same carrier, that called as counter transport. In this figure we have here is a scene that the co-transport, in which the substance get moved here is the same direction. Here is the sodium and glucose can get moved through the same direction by using the same carrier. And here in case of counter transport, substance it moves the opposite direction by using the same carrier. Here is a potassium get moved inside the epithelial cell, and here in case of in other hand sodium get moved the come inside the sodium inside the blood by using the same carrier, that is called as counter transport. Now last one is a bulk transport. It is a movement of water and solid molecules across the cell membrane due to the hydrostatic pressure which is generated by the cardiovascular system. It is a kind of transport in which the fluid is forced through a membrane because of the difference in pressure gradient on the two sides of membrane. It usually takes place across the capillary wall, and it takes place against the hydrostatic and osmotic colloid pressure. It has also two types. First one is a vesicular transport. It is a mode of transport by which the large particles are transported between the ECF, nothing but the extracellular fluid, and ICF, which is a intracellular fluid, by being wrapped inside the membrane, enclose the vesicles. A substance transported out is by exocytosis, and substance taken inside the cell, it is called as endocytosis. Here is exocytosis, nothing but the substance came outside the cells, that called as the exocytosis, and endocytosis nothing but the substance can came inside the cells. In this process we have seen that the first one figure is a endocytosis. Endocytosis having two types. First one is a phagocytosis, nothing but the cell eating, in which the substance is a solid particle which came inside the cells, and in other hand here is a pinocytosis, nothing but the cell drinking, in which the substance having in fluid in nature. That's why it's called as pinocytosis, and substance come inside the cells. And third one is a receptor mediated endocytosis. In this case here is a for substance came into the cells by using the receptors. Now it is over the transportation mechanisms. Thank you.